Okay, in true Boris style. Next slide, please. So welcome. This meeting is going to talk a little bit about our school, also a little bit about the learning and the curriculum that your children this year will be looking at, also going over some routines and information so that everybody has all of that information. And then if you have any questions, please feel free to write your questions in the chat during the presentation. There'll be a few of us manning the chat and we'll answer the questions the best we can. And then at the end of the presentation, we'll also make sure there's some time there as well for us to answer any unanswered questions at that point. Next slide, please. So just before I hand you over to the actual Year 4 team, I wanted to talk a little bit about the school in general. So most of you probably know already because you've been with us for a while, but the three main words that we think are really, really important at Pinner Park are learning, character and community, and everything we do is centred around this. So we work together as a school community to empower and inspire each and every child to be an outstanding student. They enjoy learning, they develop their character, and we want them to become a responsible citizen who makes a positive impact on themselves, the school community, and also the wider community as well. So I am going to hand you over now to, I think it's Miss Williams. Am I handing over to you first? And then I will perhaps catch up with you all a little bit later.
Thank you, Mrs. Jenkins. So first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Miss Williams, and I'm the year group leader for Year 4. We've got with us Miss Benson, who is the class teacher for 4 Willow, Mr. Withy, the class teacher for 4 Chestnut, and we have Miss Mulcahy, the class teacher for 4 Birch. Unfortunately, she's not here with us today because she is unwell. Also part of the Year 4 team, we have Mrs. Courtney, Mrs. Shaw, Miss Schweitzer, and Mrs. Hamid as our teaching assistants. And other members of staff, you've just met Mrs. Jenkins, who is our assistant ed, and the lower key stage 2 phase leader. So phase leader for years 3 and 4. You've got Mrs. Coxon, assistant head and inclusion lead, Mrs. Edwards, deputy head, and Mr. Waldron, our ed teacher. So we're going to start off with curriculum and learning. So in maths, we do maths lessons 5 days a week. We have adopted the mastery approach to teaching and learning maths at Pinner Park School, and that ties in nicely with the White Rose maths which we use. We also do a daily Fluent in 5, which helps the children to develop fluency and their number skills.
Yeah, sure.
So in writing, we are covering lots of it's an important part of the curriculum, and we really stress that here at Pinner Park. And for example, every week we have our big write. We have a planning session where we often look at key examples and key spelling, punctuation and grammar to use in their writing, a writing session and an editing session. We also do regular daily read, write, ink sessions. So that is with Oxford Owl, and this is to practice spelling and structure of words. For example, this week we'll be looking at prefixes, and it's to help them understand the structure so they can use it and apply it in their writing. Also, every Wednesday, the children will take home their spelling book, a green spelling book to learn the words. It's not a spelling test, but we will go through and reflect upon the spellings in class the next week after.
Okay. On to science, I get to talk about the best subject, science, but this time we'll be looking at animals, including humans, and we've tried to fit in as many exciting experiments and things to get everyone really excited about the subject, but we'll be covering that and looking really hard at the scientific method and moving them on right the way through to electricity in the second half of autumn, and amazing, exciting things around that.
And history, which is, I think, the best subject, but we will have our opinions. And we are looking at ancient Egypt this half term. We've got a really exciting curriculum. We're looking at things like Tutankhamun and how mummies were made. And they've also got a workshop, which they will be experiencing midway through our unit. And this will help them imagine what it was like to be experience life as an ancient Egyptian.
We also do PE, so we have 2 PE sessions a week. We've got an indoor session, which the focus for this half term is gymnastics. And we also have an outdoor session, and we're focusing on the skills needed to play netball. Also, we have PSHE that we do weekly using the jigsaw. We do RE, which we do a session weekly as well. We focus on different religion, and we use Discover RE, which ties in nicely with the Harrow agreed syllabus for RE, and we also do languages, and in year 4 we focus on French.
We've also got an excellent team of sports staff who come in and do music, PE if we don't teach it ourselves, and so we cover the entire curriculum there. So
we've got a specialist music teacher. Some of you might have met Miss Matty. She's a specialist music teacher. Fantastic. We also have art, specialist art teacher, Mrs. Sean, and we've got computing, which the children really enjoy as well. So we have a wide range of excellent activities for the children to do. So homework is set weekly. It's submitted on, it can be submitted on DB Primary. So the homework is set on DB Primary weekly. It's set on a Friday and it's due the following Thursday. Children are able to access it on DB Primary. However, if you have difficulty accessing this on DB Primary, just let your child's teacher know and we will provide them with a paper copy. Okay. The homework, usually we have a maths task, which is set on Mathletics, and Times Tables Rockstars to help the children with their times tables. Times table is very important for the children to learn, because by the end of year 4, they will have a multiplication check test, and they are expected to know the timetables up until 12 times. Okay, so it's important that you encourage your children to practice their times tables, and TT Rockstar is a great way to do that. On the homework as well, you find a English task that may be a writing activity, a spank activity, so something to do with spelling, punctuation, or grammar, and you will find a spelling task as well that links to the weekly spelling from Read Write Inc. Home reading, children are expected to be reading every day, frequently. We do encourage reading at Pinner Park, reading for comprehension, but also reading for pleasure. So children will always have a home reading book to take home. Please make sure you are signing that reading book so the class teacher knows that they're reading at home. They finish the book so it's ready to be changed. So I just mentioned Times Tables Rockstars earlier on, and it's a fun way, very exciting way for children to learn their times tables. Times tables is a key in learning mathematics. It's helped with accuracy and fluency as well. It is online, it's both available as an app, and I will encourage your children to do it as little and often, ideally every day, maybe 15 minutes per day. And it's, as I mentioned earlier on, it's part of the homework and it must be completed.
Okay, so like I mentioned before, reading for pleasure is a very important part of the school. We try to read to the students in class, but it's a big part of our curriculum as well. We have a guided reading program where we take a text every week, break it down, look at it, and really get into the nuts and bolts of what it means. So we have a different text every week. We look at it. It'll be over a range of topics, either non-fiction, fiction text, sometimes even a song or a poem, but we try to cover everything. Also, during the course of the year, in the autumn term, first half, we don't use a longer block as part of our big write or guided reading, but during the course of the year, we'll be using them as well. So if you're asking your kids, oh, what are you reading in class? It'll be a different thing every week rather than a longer book at the moment. We also encourage them to read for pleasure, as well as their reading folders. They also have a chance to take home library books. Read them, take as long as you want to read them, but they're always available to come back and swap over for a different one. The school got a fantastic selection in over the summer of new books to really get them interested in their reading.
And the children can also go on Oxford Owl. They all have logins for Oxford Owl where they can choose book there to read for pleasure as well.
So it's really important also, we want to stress it's a reminder of times and routines. So it's really, really important for everyone to be punctual at the start of each day. So we have a soft start from 8:45 to 8:55. If every child can be in by class by 8:55, that's when most of us take the register. So it's really, really important that they are in on time. And as it says here on the slide, we have the 96% challenge. So that's really important where we want to be in school for 96% of the time. Do you want to? Or more, hopefully 100%, but you know, with colds and things like that, it's completely understandable. We want to have children's safety and welfare at the forefront of everything, but hopefully 100%. And as I said, it's really important to be on time. Also, the end of the day is 3:20 outside in Melbourne Playground. Also, there are after school clubs on which end at 4:30 each day if your child's in an after school club. And so this is the uniform and equipment we have. You can see on the left, these are all the shoes that your children should be wearing, and on the right, the ones they should not. It's really important also that if children do have PE during the day, don't come into school in your PE kit. Your PE kit should be in school, and they will get changed in school. So always come to school in school uniform unless specified otherwise, like our Egyptian workshop day. So the uniform list is on the website, and there should be no jewellery except small stud earrings may be worn, but not in PE. And obviously PE kit, and make sure a drawstring bag if possible, and everything must be named. I know that there's some, it can be quite tricky to make sure everything's named, but if everything is, that's vital importance. Thank you.
Could I just jump in there, because I'm visiting a number of different meetings this evening, so I'm going to sort of pop in and then pop out again. But I just wanted to say thank you to the parents for being here, and thank you for the team for putting on this presentation. If I could just echo what was said about everything being named already, even after just a few weeks of term, we've got a huge amount of lost property, which we would have very quickly returned to the children if it had a name in. I would just say, as a parent myself, but also to you parents, don't assume that anything won't be lost in school, whether it's a shoe, a sock, a water bottle, a lunchbox. And please don't assume that your child's lunchbox is unique. With over 800 students in school, there's always going to be a lunchbox that looks the same as somebody else's. So please, 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 really clearly named on the outside of every item. And then if it is mislaid or forgotten about, we can get it straight back to your child, and it won't go into the great chasm of lost property which we have in school. Thanks to the team, and thanks to parents for coming this evening. I'm going to disappear and go and visit another meeting now. Thanks very much.
So this is about school food at lunch, and it is hot and nutritious and delicious meals, as it says on the slide. They have a range of options, so vegetarian options, and ones like I think it was lamb bolognese today, or was it yesterday? You know, a wide range of meals. And it's free for all infant children, free for some older children, and it's possible to order through the school gateway. Also, every break time, your child can have a fruit snack, which just a small piece of fruit like an orange or a banana, and you can order milk as well to have at break time.
Okay, so in the school, we're lucky about having a great cohort of some amazing kids, and every child in all the classes knows these words back to front: ready, respectful, safe, and kind. Off the top of their head, they can say it, and they know what it means to us in the school. This is on the playground, in the classroom. They are ready to learn, ready to help. That's one of the key words. They respect each other, opening doors, saying thank you, things like that. Their safety. And
one others' opinions.
And others' opinions, yeah. Again, safety is our priority and the priority of the kids. We have a safe learning environment. That makes sure that they have the perfect atmosphere to learn. And finally, possibly the most important, is kindness. Without an excellent sense of empathy, these kids wouldn't grow to be the great adults they're bound to be in the future. So I would say every day we mention these words, and the children really, really take it to heart. And we're trying to foster these kind of behavior in our school.
Just to add to that, in each classroom you'll find a recognition board which children are recognized for showing readiness to learn, for showing that they're respectful, for showing that they're safe, and for showing kindness. So they are being recognized for those positive behavior.
As well as pinners and go-to words. There's a whole number of techniques to show that they are recognized for these. Oh, me again. Okay, but we take care of like kids who have additional needs. So Mrs. Coxon, she's there. She knows these kids from all the way from nursery up to year 6. She knows them back and forth, and we get to know them very quickly in the school. And we tailor our classes to meet these needs of all children, from like the highest flyers to ones having who need a little bit more help. So we cater to children who have special educational needs and disabilities. Please speak to us if you have any concerns about your child in any area. We're here to help. We're trained, we're qualified, and we know what is best to help them get what's best out of them. Yeah, like I mentioned, Mrs. Coxon, like we're trained, but she's an expert in the field. She knows everything, and she will
Do everything
to support them. But don't feel worried or think a small detail we can probably fix quickly, or like get something in place to help the child. But if you don't mention it, we won't really know. So please tell us.
Partnership with parents. This is very, very important to us at Pinner Park. We think it's very important that we work with you as parents so your child or children can be very successful. So how we communicate with you, we have the Pinner Park post. If you haven't seen that yet, you can find us on the website. There's very important information you can find in our website. On Twitter, if you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or on Instagram, and with the School Gateway as well, we've got information, useful information. We've got information briefings like this meeting. We've got information booklets that we sent out, and we also have the Parents Teachers Association and Class List, whereas parents, I'm part of Class List, where you get a lot of information, sharing information with parents, with other parents, and just getting information from other parents as well. I will recommend Class List over WhatsApp. It's really a good platform to interact with other parents as well. So other things at school, so visits and trips. So for this half term, in history, the history curriculum, we are learning about ancient Egypt. And as Mrs. Benson mentioned earlier on, we have a workshop coming up. So please look out. We'll be sending out a letter on School Gateway about that workshop. Okay, you can find the letter there, maybe sometime at the end of this week. It should come to you, and that's where you will pay and give your consent. I will also be sending out some letters asking for parent volunteers as well. We're going to need a few parents just to help us with the activities. The dates for your diary are the 7th of October. That will be for Chestnut and for Willow. And on Friday, the 8th of October, that will be for For Oak and For Birch. So please get their Egyptian costume ready. They will need to come into school on that day, all dressed up like an ancient Egyptian. Okay, I will be dressing up. The whole team will be dressing up. I am looking forward to it. And the children will have a great time learning about what life was like in ancient Egypt. Okay, we've got our after school clubs up and running. At the minute, please be on time to pick up your child. If your child is at an after school club, at the venue that they should be picked up. We talked about parent volunteers already. We will need your help on the 7th and 8th of October. Please, if you can, just indicate on the letter that will be sent out with your parents, with your child, sorry. Okay, we also have a range of music lessons going on as well, from strings, instruments to drums, a lot of going on. If you are interested in that, you can speak to Mrs. Lewis. Okay, children may bring a fruit or vegetable snack for break. Please, no crisp or sweet. You can order milk in school, or just a piece of fruit or vegetable is absolutely fine. No nuts, please, due to allergies. It's very important that you do not send in anything in school that contain nuts or may contain nuts. We will recommend just a piece of fruit or vegetable, okay, just to be on the safe side. Okay, that's us finished talking. Do you have any questions?
You can either type into chat, or if you want to click the put hand up button to unmute to speak, that's fine as well, but chat's probably easier for us. Don't hold back.
You've got no question, and after this meeting, don't worry.
So if you'd like to unmute, feel free and see if this works.
Yeah, just had a quick question on the curriculum.
Yep.
With the missed topics, you know, during the pandemic in the last 12-18 months, is any work going to be done to catch up on those areas?
Mrs. Jenkins, you want to jump in and help us out there? We do have catch-up program. Mrs. Jenkins.
Hi. Yeah, the objectives within those units will be caught up. So, for example, with a foundation subject like history, for example, they would have worked towards some objectives focusing on a specific era in history, for example. We may not have, we won't have the time to go back and do that period of history, but the objectives within it are repeated, and they're repeated each year with progression. So we will make sure that the children are catching up in that sense. So while they're learning the Egyptians this year, they'll be picking up on some of the objectives perhaps from last year and developing them and taking them further. With regards to the more core subjects like maths and English, we've got lots of we've put a lot of information and detail into our planning. We thought about it really carefully, and the nature of the White Rose Maths, for example, again, it's like building blocks. So we'll be still teaching the Year 4 curriculum, but we'll be making sure that there is extra support in place for those that need that extra bit of scaffolding to achieve it. So obviously we can't double the time that we have. If we had a magic wand, we definitely would. We always would have as teachers. We always want more time, but we're just working in a little bit more of a smart and clever way to make sure that the children are catching up, and making sure that we're still working towards the Year 4 objectives as well. So I hope that answers your question. It's a little bit tricky to explain in such a short amount of time, but if you would like more information, then please just come and find me or any of the teachers after school on the playground, and we'd be happy to talk you through it.
No, that's great. Thank you.
So if you've got any other questions, please feel free to either write them in the chat or raise your hand. If you do, like me, when you come away from the meeting, think of questions afterwards, that's absolutely fine. Please feel free to email the office. Usually I always think of things after the time has already passed. So if you're like me, email office@pinnerpark.harrow.sch.uk, and they will forward it on to someone in the Year 4 team who will get back to you as soon as they can. So should we see if there's any more questions? We'll give you 30 more seconds to raise your hand or to write it in the chat. The recording will be available probably within, I'd imagine, the next week or so. And Mr. Waldron will send out information about that, because this obviously is our last day of meetings. So now that we've had them all, Mr. Waldron will download them all, and he'll put them probably on the website, but he'll send out information exactly so that you can access that, because I know there'll be some people not in this meeting as well that will need that information too. Okay, so I think that's probably it. Thank you very, very much for coming in. Thank you to our Year 4 team for doing such a sterling job presenting. I know it's quite scary sometimes doing it when it's not children on the other side of the camera, but it was lovely to see you all here. And like I said, please do always come and speak to us on the playground after school, or get in contact with us through the office. We'll be happy to always answer any questions or help where we can. All right, take care, everybody, and we'll see you out on the playground very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.